Hello, hello. How are you? Today, we have a very hopefully short episode. And I just want to talk about the fact that as much as we want to be consistent and on our game all the time, in truth, in fitness and in most of the things in our life, we're always course creating to just a little bit. And today, I'd like to talk about course creating and the piece that I use to bring myself back on track again and again. So thank you so much for being here today. And what I was thinking about earlier, I'm wrapping up a new quarter. And when I do, I actually have a particular exercise that we're going to go through, very quick one, that I do every quarter. And the reason is that recently I heard someone say this is like if a pilot was flying a plane and they were off by 1 degree, and let's say they were heading to Paris and they were off by 1 degree, and okay, somebody's going to have to do the geography for me, but they're off by 1 degree, they don't course correct, they're heading to Paris, they end up in Malta, right? I mean, for me, I have sailed all my life, and I know how it is that when you aren't constantly course correcting that boat, you will go from I'm going to go to Galveston to I'm ending up in Corpus Christi, for those of you who are from Texas. So you get the idea, right? I mean, course correcting is always checking to see where you are and bringing it back. Check where you are and bringing it back. The other thing about this is that for my clients who are always asking me, like, what do I write about when I'm journaling? Since it's one of the things I suggest to people. And if you don't journal, it's okay. Stick with me on this one, because journaling or not, you need to do this one. So what do you write about when you're journaling? Use this exercise. And believe me, if you don't journal, you can still use this one. It's powerful, it's quick, and it's for anyone who wants to get and stay on track. So the premise of this exercise is the idea that 1 quarter, 3 months, is 1% of 25 years. If you think about it that way, it actually becomes a bit of a sobering thought, because it reminds me that my time is precious and I need to be paying attention. So if I think of life, or like life and everything I do, in quarters, at the end of each quarter, I do a review. And that review allows me to look not just what's happened, but what I want to happen next. And by piecing it in like small pieces, right? 3 months, anyone can do. And even I can remember what happened 3 months ago when I do my review. And at the same time, it's long enough that you get to see a lot of change. So here's my questions. Super quick. If you're driving, come back and the questions will be in the show notes. But if you aren't, just grab a pen, paper, app, whatever you use, and here, let me tell you what's going on. So the first question I ask, and I do this at the end of like a 3-month period. For me, this year, my 3-month period actually ends in April, because I wrapped it up in January. So for me, if you're listening to this in 2023, I'm wrapping this up in April. So it's a 3-month period, February, March, April. Where am I at presently? That's the question number one. Where am I at presently? And when I say that, it could be physically, it could be emotionally, it could be just like, how do I feel about what's going on in life? I mean, it's just like where am I at right now? And then where have I come from? What happened over the last 3 months? Like, look back, and where was I for myself as we're doing this? Where was I back in January, right? Like, what was going on? And then the next piece is, what do I want to accomplish in the short term? And to me, a short term, 3 months, right? Anything longer than 3 months can be, it gets a little fuzzy for us. Like 3 months is a really good piece of time for us to think in. A year, like when we throw a year out there, a year is like, here's what happens when you say, I'm going to finish this by the end of the year. We wait until the 11th month, and then we try and get it done, right? I mean, that is human nature. 3 months, you don't have a lot of time to sit around and wait. So a couple more questions. One, what were my wins over the last 90 days? Okay, so think about that. 1% of 25 years. What were my wins in the last 90 days? What are my desired wins for the next 90 days? I don't I'm not usually someone who says, what are my goals? Because goals sound like, that's kind of doesn't sound terribly exciting to me. What are my desired wins? That sounds fun to me. So what are my desired wins? And these for me can be anything. Like one of my wins could be scheduling and taking a trip. That's a win. Or it could be taking up a new sport, or it could be anything, right? Everybody's different. And I use this across the board, not just for my fitness, but for my life and my business and everything else. So think of it, whether you want to talk about it in just your fitness and health, or if you want to look at it for the whole picture. And the next question is, what are my desired wins over the next 12 months? This is kind of like, and these aren't goals. I'm not saying that I'm going to get XYZ done in the next 12 months, but if I was to have like a really rockin' 12 months, what would be some of those wins I would get? Could be anything, right? Maybe somebody's lowering their cholesterol, or maybe somebody's increasing their muscle mass, or maybe somebody's taking a month off for vacation, whatever, right? Then the next one is, what are my I'm sorry. So in 5 years, where do I want to be? So now we're thinking way far out, and these are not goals, okay? I'm back to, we're not talking about I want to accomplish. It's like, where do I want to be? What do I want to be doing? What's the kind of person I want to be like? How do I want to be feeling? Like, where do I want to be? And when you put that way out there, 5 years is a long time. If you look back 5 years, oh my goodness, our lives have changed so dramatically in the last 5 years. And at the same time, there's things that are still the same, right? So when you look at it, just think about, if I was going to have like something amazing, where would I be and what would I be doing in the next 5 years? The reason for that is that gives you a little bit of a North Star, right? A little bit of a course that you can always course correct to as you do this review. So really quick, I'm going to run back over them and we're going to call this a day. I want you to think about, where are you currently? Like, what's going on in your present moment? How do you feel? What's going on? Where are you physically, emotionally, mentally, all of those good things? Where have you come from over the last 3 months? And what do you want to accomplish in the short term? And in that short term, it's like, what are your wins that you've had over the last 3 months or the last 90 days, right? What are your desired wins for the next 90 days? And what are your desired wins for the next year? And finally, in 5 years, where do you see yourself? Where do you want to be? If you were that exciting future version of yourself that you want to be, where would you be? What would you be doing? Who would you be with? And how would you be feeling? So thank you. I told you it'd be a short one today. Have a wonderful, wonderful day, and I will see you again next week. Take care. Bye-bye.